everyone, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I am your host, Dave.
And John.
Eddie.
You guys are so enthusiastic today.
I'm tired. I didn't say that because successful people never complain about being tired. Successful people have energy boundless all the time and mounds of cocaine, apparently, because I'm tired. So, I don't know. It's been a stress. It's been a stressful.
I was going to say, JD, what you're talking about success. Yes, let's talk about your great week and your Kickstarter and all the wonderfulness.
I had a good week followed by a rough weekend, and it had something to do with business. It was the child.
Yeah.
The wife had this. The wife had the second dose. So she was on the shelf on Saturday, and the weekend spun out of control. The kids spit on the dogs, so the dad had to take away everything from the kid, and then the kid has nothing, so dad has no time for anything. He's promoting this podcast and promoting this Kickstarter and all these podcasts, which is eating up his time. And I watched Falcon Winter Soldier. I don't know what happened. I think I watched Mortal Kombat. I don't know what happened.
And we have to apologize to our fans because there was no video last week because
I was too busy to edit it. I apologize. This Kickstarter's, man, it's a job. And I shouldn't complain because as of right now, we are more than double funded. Like, again, like John said last week, my goals are low, which is like, but my funding goals are low because it's more important to like blow them out of the water. Like, so that's the stress level. And I just launched my first ever Facebook advertising campaigns for them. And, if you literally get like 2% of your clicks, like invest, it's considered a success.
Yes.
But 2% is really hard to accept, right?
I worked for internet advertising doing business and analysis. And yeah, like 2% is really good for a campaign.
Yeah. So that's why I have to accept that and not just, get upset. So I mean, like, this is man, these things are stressful. Like, it really is. Like, I shouldn't be. I hit the goal. People are buying the book. People are happy, but I just want a career full time where this is all I do.
So is this where we play In the Arms of an Angel in the background and talk about your Kickstarter and say, please save a JD?
No, I mean, like, it's not that bad. It's not like we're failing. And Sarah McLachlan is awesome. By the way. If I take my hair, if I do this with my hair, I look like a Cocker Spaniel.
Oh my God, John!
Right now, JD is so very stressed, and he could really use your help.
I am stressed. It's super stressful. But my friend John contributed, and he will be getting murdered. Do you want to be a vampire? I thought I might change it up this time.
Sure. Whatever you want. Like, if you want me to burn in the light of day, sure.
I just bought one of the books.
I appreciate that, Dave. Thank you very much. But you want to be a vampire? I was thinking about them. Like, I wonder if I could make John the vampire this time. Because I think I got a character in it that easily could be known as O'Grady.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah.
I was thinking about that today coming out of practice. I was like, oh, that might work. I have to run that by John, see if you would like that.
Whatever. You are the author. I have paid you to use my name in however you want, as so long as I am brutally murdered at the end.
Look. Now, wait a minute. We're
not even murdered. I can just die. It doesn't have to be murder, as long as I am it's a horrible ending.
Now, I have a question.
Can I interest you in a kettlebell to the face?
Ooh, did you try that?
We're all friends.
I wrote that already.
Oh, okay.
We're all friends here, right? But I have a question in all seriousness.
All right, so he's setting something up. Okay.
Well, and one of your tier that John bought.
Yes.
He's paying so that he's a character in your book, right?
Yes.
Killed or
maimed or loved, depending on what
Is there, like, I hate asking this. Did you look into whatever the legal ramifications are for that? Like, is that a legal contract or?
Yeah, it is a legal contract.
Okay. Because
your pledge is because all pledges are legally binding contracts.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why when I signed up for it, I had to smear blood on the monitor. That's
yes. Well, he has in fact signed a pact with the devil. Goody O'Grady.
Because before you got on, John was talking about suing you. So I just wanted to make sure.
But here's the thing though, is like all I'm doing is like, this is what it is. You can say this person based it on me, but in reality, I'm just using a name, and names cannot be trademarked. Right. And it's not defamation, because these are all in fact fictional people.
When I go to my CVS down the street, when I say I'm John O'Grady, I have to specify which of 3 John O'Grady's I am.
But but in the book, when you describe the vampire as middle-aged looking, balding, and grumpy, we all know who the O'Grady is.
You missed the swilling whiskey, but you know.
Vampire swilling whiskey. I like that. I didn't think about that.
You might have started something, John.
No, but I appreciate that. No, it's there are apparently no one has let's be real, no one has tested this yet, because everyone wants to be a willing participant in these things.
True.
And when you are a willing participant, you pretty much waive your rights to get angry about it.
Yes.
Right? Because I'm pretty much laying out what I'm doing.
Why would I get angry? I paid good money for this.
Right. Why are you giving him ideas?
That's what I do. I'm a giver.
Yes, I appreciate all the giving too. By the way, like on a serious note, guys, I really do appreciate it. Like these things, I'm going to try to run. I said I was going to run 4 of these a year, like quarterly. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to go back to 3. These can take a lot out of you, man. They're a lot of work.
Well, hopefully they're successful enough.
And we revealed last night a brand new short story will be released with every pledge above $10.
All right.
So I'm sweetening the pot for everybody.
Oh, I forgot. We skipped over it. I want to ask you, your wife, did she react worse to it than you did?
So here, similar actually. She did not have a fever. She did not get sick, but she kind of threw her back out in the days leading up to it, right? So the day post-vaccine, she was miserable. Like she was in more pain than before, and I would like rub her back, and her skin was like sizzling.
Ooh.
Yikes.
So maybe she did have a fever. I didn't realize it, but she was in absolute misery that Saturday. That Sunday, I mean, she's sore today, but that was unrelated to the vaccine. But that's pretty much it.
Well, I'm just saying because I've heard that it affects women more than it affects men.
We expected a lot worse, to be honest. Yeah. Like we expected her to be laid up and like, oh my God, I can't breathe. But I mean, realistically, she said she popped her neck in her sleep. Like she was just shuffling around, her neck popped. Right. And I thought, oh, sweet Jesus, she just slipped a disc. Yeah, but she's been okay.
Now my 76-year-old mother was fine after both shots.
My alcoholic, horrible shape, smokes 2 packs of cigarettes a day father was fine after the second shot. And I'm like, dear Lord, this man will survive a nuclear holocaust.
And then my daughter, though, she like the second shot, she was complaining her arm was sore all day. She had a low-grade fever. Yeah. So
I've heard anecdotal stories that I've heard both contrasting that if you have no symptoms after the second one, it's because you've already had it. And I've heard if you do have symptoms after the second one, it's because you've already had it. So, I mean, like, again, it's all anecdotal, but I have no idea what to base any of this on.
Yeah.
I just had the gout. I felt like I had a hangover and I had gout 48 hours afterwards. John, did you have your vaccine?
I've got the first dose. I get the second dose in 2 weeks.
So, John, how can you tell if it's a hangover or the vaccine?
Well, he ain't gonna know.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
He's conditioned himself to it.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's ready to go. He's been training for this for years.
How was your week, John?
It was okay.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah. Nothing to complain about.
Whoa. Nothing to complain about.
Well,
we switched roles.
I started watching a new anime which is really depressing, and I don't normally watch those. But it's, and I have to bring up because my brain is just, you switched so fast, I just lost the train of thought. But it's To Your Eternity, and it's really weird and interesting and very depressing. Like the first episode is just watching a child die, and that's what it's. Well, it's, I don't know. it's written well enough that that's like, okay, so this is where we're going with it, but then it starts to get more interesting down the road. They're on episode 3 now. It's about a god that throws a stone onto the world, and the stone just starts to evolve and takes the shape of an animal that died on it, then takes the shape of a wolf, then takes the shape of a boy, and the boy that died, and it's just really interesting. So yeah, that there's a shout out for something interesting. Otherwise, I got no complaints. Everybody's getting their shots. A lot more action on the dating sites, apparently, because everybody's getting their shots and coming out of hibernation.
Did you guys hear they're in the trial stages of an HIV vaccine based on the specifically the Moderna vaccine, the mRNA stuff that they've?
Yes,
that would be amazing.
It's funny. I told you guys I went to a birthday party with my friends last week, and we talked about this, and I said, what's fascinating about the Moderna, it's based on this like thing where it doesn't really rewrite your DNA, but it modifies
it like educates your DNA.
Yes, it educates your DNA to create antibodies for it's like a new technology. And I'm like, since this got approved, you're going to see a whole bunch of like new stuff coming out. They're like, you're crazy. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, it's amazing.
Well, that's why, a lot of people have been upset that, these vaccines came out so fast, but the reason why they came out so fast is because the research on the mRNA vaccine distribution system has been around for decades.
Right. We kind of stumbled into, because it was so close to SARS and because we've had this mRNA data, we kind of stumbled into something that was, I don't want to say easy to cure because we, millions of deaths, but I mean, like, we stumbled into something that at least we were better prepared for, rather than if like someone just souped up Ebola, we'd all be bleeding out of our eyes.
Yeah. No, and it's also, but it also has implications for cancer research too.
That's incredible.
Kind of cool.
Yeah. If they can cure AIDS and COVID in the same trip, like, they'll be humping in the streets.
Literally.
I mean it. People will be helping each other in the streets saying it's over. It's all over.
Well, once they get hurt, they'd have to get herpes too. But if they,
they
can probably do herpes too.
I've got herpes. I do.
What?
I'm not kidding. From wrestling, I get it. I get breakouts right about here.
Oh,
it's a gift that keeps giving. It's like luggage. You never really get rid of
it. Oh my god.
Well, that's.
Everyone is on tonight.
Oh, episode title. Herpes is like luggage.
Yes.
Even better. Even better.
I think that is it.
There's like a pure wrestler thing where you look at someone, you see this gross malformation on their head, and you're like, you got the herp, huh? And they're like, yeah, I got the herp. Okay, well, just don't touch me, because I don't want mine to flare up. You're like, yeah, no, I know the rules. I'll stay over here.
I didn't know it was like that prevalent.
We're gross people.
Oh yeah,
us amateur wrestlers. Do you know how many skin infections and whatnots I've had? Ringworm, impetigo, shingles.
For wrestling?
Oh yeah,
because it's the mat.
Yeah, the mats and the people. The humans are worse than the mats. MRSA. What else have I had?
I'm really glad I never picked up wrestling. It's like,
wow.
Wow.
I'm prepared. Like I said, when my kid will start wrestling this fall, not because I want him to, but because the little shit needs to learn to listen. So, and I can trust those coaches. So yes, so we'll be ready. We'll be ready and armed with all the finest and how to get the gook off.
Wunderbar. So now that
the herpes conversation is completely derailed, O'Grady. He's not making eye contact with the camera. I can tell he's choking.
I'm working on my Raftalia here. I'm trying to set her up. It's
if someone's listening to the podcast and has no idea what you're talking about, it sounds like. Never mind.
John has a new toy. Let's just leave it at that.
I got a new figure,
and
new
action figure.
Action figure.
What's she from?
She's from Rising of the Shield Hero.
Yeah, so
we're off the rails.
We are so off the rails.
Yeah.
That's fine. I think people like when we're off the rails a little bit more than when we're focused.
I think so.
It's good.
So anyway,
you are so focused. You're like my kid when he gets a new toy. You're just like.
I have ADD. I can focus on 3 or 4 different things at once. So, go ahead, Dave. How was your day?
Oh,
that's usually my gimmick. Oh, rats.
To get us back on track. It's actually been, most of the week was uneventful. I'm going to see my granddaughters on Saturday.
Cool.
So so this week I'm not doing anything.
Your cancer-free granddaughters.
Oh, yeah. I guess I could say that.
Oh my God. I was like, so my mind went 4 different places when there was that pregnant pause. I was like, oh no.
So okay. So that's right. I guess I'll say that.
Should I not have said? I shouldn't have
No,
said
it's fine. It's fine. It's perfectly fine.
Because they're fine.
As of Friday, my granddaughter is officially cancer-free.
Yay.
Problem is that neuroblastoma, which is the form of cancer that she has a high relapse rate. So they're going to continue with the treatment anyway, as if, it's just a precaution kind of thing.
Is this a childhood only cancer, or is this something that she has to look out for the rest of her life?
It's most predominant in children under 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like she's going to get the stem cell transplant and all that kind of stuff. So, that's going to be in like a couple weeks. So this will be the last time I'll get to see them all before she goes to do that. And then, so that's like, to be careful. I'm not like going out or anything really. So yeah, like for the rest of the week, I'm going to be locked in my house.
Stem cells are incredible.
Awesome. They are.
Yeah.
Your little girl whooped cancer's ass, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it's great. I mean, she's happy and in good spirits.
That's the way little girls should be.
She's gonna be like 17. Like, I had cancer. What? Like, that's gonna be an awesome thing.
Yeah. No, that's.
Didn't they cure that 2 years ago with the mRNA
virus? Dude, how amazing is that going to be when you're just like, oh, my cancer's acting up again?
I know, right?
Like seriously, like how incredible is that going to be? It's going to be like Logan's Run eventually because we're going to get so overpopulated when we cure everything.
Yeah. We won't be able to cure stupidity though.
No.
Have you seen Logan's Run?
Oh, right. Right.
Lots of stupidity in that movie.
Yes.
But a prime Jenny a gutter.
I'm surprised they never remade that. Or did they remake it?
You're right. No, I think they've always been. I know Bryan Singer was attached to a Logan's Run remake forever. And then, Bryan Singer.
Don't give them ideas. I mean, they've already remade so much.
No, that's a good one to remake because that's like aged horribly if it was ever good at all.
Yeah, the special effects are so much better today. You can make something that looks really good.
Yeah, and it's a good concept. Like the concept is really interesting. Like you just make it better. Like it's not that hard. There's a lot of movies that I think are ripe for remakes that should be, and there's a lot that shouldn't be. Like no one should ever touch Back to the Future. But, I wouldn't mind seeing someone take a crack at Highlander.
Yes.
No, Highlander would be a good one because the following series, like talk about, like that's got to be the worst drop in sequels ever.
It's the most retconned series ever.
That's true.
Having to retconning to make sequels. It was like,
because none of them work. Because like the Highlander concept is so cool, but they so very quickly drop the ball in the quickening.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Hey, so in the Highlander, they cast a Scotsman to play a Spaniard who's actually an Egyptian, while casting a Frenchman to play a Scotsman.
Yes, it made perfect sense, didn't it?
With a great soundtrack by Queen.
Yes,
one of the best.
It's probably the only thing you can't recreate.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
No, they'd have to go with that. No, you know what they probably do? They'd probably bring Zimmer in.
They probably would.
Maybe.
He gets a lot of work.
Yes,
I'm convinced people hire him just because they know John doesn't like him.
Yeah, I've been doing that. I've been doing that for a while.
It's our gimmick.
Yes. So everyone's had a good week. I'm in good spirits. Let's move on to our favorite topic. You said you watched it, but you have no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reviews out there that hold the same opinion.
So we're gonna say Falcon. Oh wait! I can't say Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Captain America
and Winter Soldier.
And Mephisto. Don't forget.
I was shocked when he showed up. Shocked. I knew something was up with that bird from WandaVision.
All right, so obviously we've all watched it, and yeah, you can make jokes about you don't know what was going on. It's interesting that they did end it in a way that they left a lot of things open. It was more of a transitional story than it was, like a finalized, But I have to say, the final episode I loved, and I think the Falcon cap suit is like the most comically accurate costume we've gotten so far.
I mean that's it, right? That's it. That's the suit.
Yeah. Like, he's got like no protection on the most important part of his anatomy, but it is completely what was in the comics.
I mean, it's so funny because like I think that's the first time we saw the half mask like that in a movie like this or a show like this, and it was like it actually kind of worked.
Yeah, I was surprised because sometimes comic suits don't work in real life. I give you Wolverine as a prime example.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work in real life. The Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Name any costume from on any heroine.
Right? Who's that heroine?
Yeah. any superhero woman.
Okay. We all thought the Scarlet Witch would not work until Elizabeth Olsen just.
Well,
no, he's talking.
She looked amazing in that thing.
He's talking about the skin tight outfits where like.
Yeah, you're right.
Somehow it suctions to their breastal area, but that has to go with most comic book artists are pervs. Sorry, Greg. And then they draw the.
I like your work, sir. But
well, hey, just name any of the artists at Zenoscope. So.
Oh well, that's their gimmick. Like Zenoscope is like we don't do porn, but.
But like, and it's the same thing with men, right? Like they draw the anatomy and then they draw the outline of their clothes. Right.
Those things are like suctioned on. Like nobody got a pooch.
There's not enough boob tape to.
But I mean, like you can even say that about Superman. Like,
oh yeah,
he's wearing a skin tight outfit that shows his muscles off.
With his he's got to wear the underwear to cover because if Superman doesn't wear the red underwear, we can clearly see his super dong, and it doesn't work as right.
But it's funny when you think about how they've gotten around that with the way they paint the texture on the costumes to show like the 6-pack and all that.
Going back to Michael Keaton in the Batman movie, they said, "Here, here's a 6-pack."
Exactly.
Don't do a sit-up. Here we go.
So maybe they could do that with the women, put like shadowing there. Anyway,
shadow.
Who says they haven't?
Yeah, I think you're probably right on that. I mean,
yeah.
Yes, but we are so off the reservation tonight.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Sam looked great. Like the whole I loved it. Like I felt like they did such a better job earning Sam becoming Captain America on this show than they did in the comics.
Yes.
Yeah. Like it felt gimmicky in the comics, and this I felt like we've had pretty much 2 years to rev ourselves up to the moment.
I think it goes back to the conversation we had last week about, that episode last week about where they both were, Sam and Bucky, and their emotions around the whole thing, and like. And it's just a powerful moment where it's like Isaiah is telling Sam, this country rejects you, so why would you want to wear the stars and stripes? And he's like, no, because of my friend Steve, who showed me like not everyone's like that. I want to do it. And he makes the decision. That's it. You're right. That's how he earns it. That's how it becomes such a powerful moment. It's like he's being told reject it, and it's like, no, I'm not going to reject it. I'm going to do what I want to do and help people.
Yes.
They could have done another. They could have given it another 2 or 3 episodes to really flesh out some of this. Like when you end an episode with fake Captain America slaughtering somebody in front of an entire audience that's filming it, they really could have spent the next episode showing the reaction for that instead of.
Now, I thought about that, right? Because it's the whole, and they even say international incident right in the episode. Like they don't.
Right, but they went right into a fight, and then they kind of brushed it off and kept going. And in the last episode, they're sitting there with what's his face and Bucky joking together. It's like, wait a minute, the guy brutally murdered somebody in cold blood.
However,
yeah, but so is Bucky.
Yes, that's the first thing. Like, yeah, so Bucky has done it too, and he's gotten a pardon. And
yeah, but Bucky regretted it.
He killed people before he was the Winter Soldier.
Well, but that was in World War II.
Still.
And again, they can also make the argument that he was hunting down a terrorist.
Except that the guy had his hands up and was like, prone.
Oh, it was shady. No, let's not mince words.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it was shady. But again, like there are arguments around it, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I'm saying our government would sit there and say he was, hunting down a terrorist. It wasn't,
Hey, we don't like to get political on this show, so we're gonna touch upon these matters and focus on the.
I'm just saying that's
aspect of it.
Yes,
not war crimes.
What's a little war crime between people? Yeah, right.
Between friends.
This is a great show.
Yeah,
and then it's a great show.
And it's funny. There was like the symbolism with the homemade shield getting bashed up when he was using it versus the actual shield was fine through the whole thing.
Poetry.
Yeah, poetry. It was just it's so well written. Like
it really is, and I think it does a really good job of bridging like us to a new spot because we kind of needed that next leader in the Avengers, and it's going to be Captain America again, right? As well, it should be. So they've done a really good job pushing us to that next place.
I still find plot holes though. I
do have a slight issue with that. No, not that I have an issue with Sam being Captain America, but in Captain America: First Avenger, they showed him earning being a leader. Right? So it was natural for him to be the leader of the Avengers. Like Sam really hasn't been in that role yet. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting. And so I think they'll probably deal with that,
But there's different kinds of leaders, right? There's the rah leader like Steve Rogers clearly was, and there's the guy who leads by example, who people follow because they do the right thing, which I think that Sam has proven himself. Like he doesn't need to be Steve. That's the whole point of the show. He doesn't need to be Steve Rogers. He needs to be Sam Wilson. Right? Because there can't be another Steve Rogers, so don't be Steve Rogers, be you. And I think that's what he's going to be. He's going to be the guy who leads by example. And people will follow because of that,
And he's carrying a lot more. He's carrying a lot more baggage around. Like he's not just fighting for America. He's fighting for
something else.
What?
Something else.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of stuff that Steve didn't have to deal with.
I'll be honest. I really wish we had a Steve Rogers Disney Plus show to flush him out a little bit more. Because we never really got the man. We never really got the man out of time stuff.
There are. we'll get to it in the news because there's a great announcement that came out.
There is.
And I think there's a lot of rumors around that announcement we'll talk about.
Okay.
But yeah.
Just one more thing. Like one of the problems I had with it, like I like it. I loved it. But one of the problems I had with, besides it could have used another couple of episodes, was that the Flag Smashers were running around, one world, one people, but they didn't really seem to have, okay, but what are you doing? Right? Like they gave kind of big reasons, but there was like no goal. Like what was the goal? Just to terrorize them or whatever?
Yeah.
Now I heard that on the cutting room floor, there is a whole section of scenes talking about how there are some people in the GRC that they were going to purposefully poison some of these refugees to get rid of them. And
they kind of, so the whole thing
is there was a whole thing that was left on the cutting room floor that would have given them a hell of a lot more motivation and explained some of the things like they did, like
that's kind
when
of
when they went for the vaccination stuff or the medicine. That was actually medicine to vaccinate them against this virus that the GRC was supposed to put out. Like there was a whole bunch of stuff going on that they never showed.
There's having sympathy for the devil, and there's creating, because I've heard a lot of people say, how are the Flag Smashers actually evil? Right? And I think they did not do a great job of defining that.
I think
they do some bad things, but I mean,
Sam's,
like it's muddy.
Well, they crossed the line is what it.
They did cross the line, yes.
And that's the whole point of Sam's speech at the end, right? It's like, and that's the whole point of Sam's character throughout the whole show is like, you can do the right thing and not cross that line.
Yeah,
like
you're right.
Sam has not crossed that line. Everyone else in the show has.
Yes,
yeah,
Sam is the only moral person on the show.
Yes, that's the whole point. Sam's the only moral person.
Captain America.
Yes, he's the true north or whatever you want to call.
True north is good.
And he so he has the moral compass, and so at the end that's what he's talking about. Like, yeah, this GRC wants to put things back to the way they were before the blip and relocate all these refugees like that, but they have nowhere to go.
Right.
Once they relocate them, they're not thinking of the total impact, and that's why this Flag Smashers were trying to stop them. Like, and he's saying, like, you can't just flip a switch and go back to the way things were. We have to find a new way forward, right. And that's what he was trying to say. And
there's a lot of social commentary in that I'm not going to touch at the moment.
Oh yeah,
about repatriating people in countries and stuff like that probably just isn't the time or place. Would make for a good paper.
But the whole show is very timely.
Very
with everything that's going on in the world. Yes, it works very well. I mean, the writers knew what they were doing, and again, it goes back to what I was saying last week about it's not woke. It's well written social commentary. And the heroes are still heroes at the end of the day.
Woke is such a stupid buzzword, though. I mean, what does woke mean? Like, woke was you're socially liberal? Is that like I mean, like, does that mean you shouldn't?
I think it's.
But I mean, I can't figure out what it means. Like, get woke, go broke. Like, what does that mean?
It's derogatory. It was specifically made to be. It was specifically made to be derogatory. I mean, that's.
Well, I get it. I just don't understand what it means. Like, what does woke or wokeness mean?
That's just it. Like it means whatever whatever the person who's using it means.
So it's like the F word.
Yeah, basically.
It means it's ubiquitous. Like, it's however I want to use it. It's like, man, those fries, they were woke. Like, it's like, that's how I feel. Like,
right. As long as
it doesn't mean anything.
As long as it is derogatory in a certain way. I mean, it was made by people who, look down on that on PC culture and that sort of thing, and just let's face it, just being nice. It's just a way to put down people.
That's what I feel like. I don't even like the term PC because, like, what does that mean?
Right?
Nice, like, be nice to people.
Yeah, treat them with respect.
Yeah, maybe don't shit on a transgender person. Like, maybe don't kick them when you see them in the streets. That's PC. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little Sesame Street from hanging out with how old is he now? 5-year-old, but I mean, like, not smearing poop on your neighbor's front lawn would be a start.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Or burning crosses, but anyway,
Not much difference.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, thanks for taking it to the extreme, John.
You're welcome. Anytime. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, you're right. They did handle it very well, especially with Isaiah. What's his name? Isaiah.
Bradley.
What?
Bradley.
Yeah, Isaiah Bradley. Like I didn't know anything about that character until this. And
you should get your hands on Truth. It's a very good book. That's underrated.
Yeah, that's the book with his story in it. So.
Mm-hmm. Kyle Baker.
Maybe we should review it.
I like that idea, Dave.
Okay.
Yes,
so look for that in an upcoming episode.
We need something to do between now and Loki, right?
That's true. What are we going to do? Well, we got do you guys want to watch The Bad Batch?
We will review Truth. All right. So let's just I know, like, we kind of did this one division. Let's go around real quick. Any final thoughts on the season? Where do you think it's going? And if you want to, give it a rating, 1 out of 10. So,
I'll go.
JD?
This is a great show. It was so... WandaVision, we got this like crazy, like metaphysical dissertation on trauma, right? Mm-hmm. And this time around, we got this blunt force to the head dealing with trauma, right? And it's really what this wave of the Marvel, I don't know if we can call it cinematic anymore, universe, but like we're really digging into what makes these characters tick and are getting beyond the widescreen action show of it. Like, this show had some phenomenal action sequences, but it really wasn't afraid to slow down and really do a lot of in-depth character work and creating characters that maybe you didn't agree with all the time, that maybe you didn't like, because I've talked to people that didn't like the fact that Sam, stayed maybe too in the middle and wasn't reactionary enough. But that's a character. Like, that's like, I like that. I like when you say, I don't like this, right? And not say it's not realistic. Say, I don't like this. That's fine. Like, that's creating a character. That's creating someone that's true to a point of view, which too often we don't get in, just quite frankly, any like forms of fiction. Like, right? We don't get characters and not people with like differing thoughts and opinions. So I appreciated that. I appreciated how well written this show was. What I really liked is for the last like 10 weeks, we've had brand new Marvel content every single week.
Oh yeah.
And that's a lot. I mean, for the year we all came off of in 2020, like having this first quarter plus has been a lot of fun. Like every week there's been something to look forward to.
Definitely.
So it's been great. Like I hate doing ratings. I've come to the point where I hate rating things. I want to go with how it makes me feel like emotionally, because I was big jokes about it. Like this really worked for me, and I will at some point I'll sit down and watch all 6 episodes again.
Cool. John?
Yeah, I agree totally with JD. Like, every one of these shows is basically holding up a mirror to DC and saying, see, this is how you do it. And DC's not getting it. Like, giving these characters so much dimension so that when the next time we see them in another movie, we've got all this history behind us.
Right.
All this stuff. The movies, and that just builds into the movies, and then the movies are incredible. I don't know. It's like, who could have ever thought that any studio could have ever done anything like this? And they're just getting better. They're just getting better at it. I can't wait to see what Loki's going to be like. And they're not afraid to hit us in the feels, right? Like, okay, so Agent 13's evil, great. And she made out with Captain America. Yeah, she made out with Captain America, and she's evil. Okay, and
her great uncle.
and Isaiah Bradley and the whole, they touched on stuff that a lot of people are talking about these days and should be talking about. But I like the fact that they're talking about it because it's realistic in the storyline. That is something that Sam Wilson would definitely be dealing with. And the fact that they centered on that, I find amazing, which I love these writers, and the showrunners. So I'll give it 8 dancing Zemos.
5 golden rings.
All right. So something JD said's really resonating with me. And I think where you're saying people hate it, Sam, the centrist, I think that's why I love this character so much, because I consider myself a centrist, because I can see the shit on both sides of the argument. So that's the whole thing. It's like, I really identified with him in that aspect, It was so well done. It's so deserved by the end when he puts the costume on. Like, it just brilliantly done. And again, John, that's the strength of Marvel versus DC. We've talked about this many times, where again, DC is gods among men, and Marvel is, regular people getting powers and being put in these situations. If you've never read the original Falcon miniseries from the 80s, read it. That touch, that's from the 80s, and that touches on being a black superhero back then.
Well, with Stan Lee at the helm, Marvel's always been good with that. At the whole point of the Marvel superhero universe is real people,
right. But I'm saying, so that's why, yes, you're saying, it makes sense for this character. It's like, yes, the character's been dealing with it in the comics for years. It's not like a new idea, so number one, it goes back to, yes, there's lots of problems that have never been fixed, but two, it just was natural for the character, and it was just so well done.
I guess that means that it's really sad that it's still topical today, even though they were dealing with it so long ago in the comics, know?
Yeah. So
but, it's still topical. I mean, look what's happened just the last few weeks in the real world. These are issues that need to be talked about. And I think that fiction, the point of fiction is to provide windows to reality that are done through allegory and metaphor. Right. To tell bigger stories.
Yes, exactly.
Example, in Sundown, we talk about the scams of multi-layer marketing and how those things are literal vampires that suck and bleed your money dry.
Fair enough.
Cheap plug.
All right. So I am going to actually say I give it a 9 out of 10.
Wow, you really click with this.
Oh yeah. Well, again, I've always loved Falcon. He's always been one of my favorite characters. I'm a huge Captain America fan, and this was Captain America centric through and through and through. And Sam earning it by the end of the show was that's it. Okay, I get it now. Because when it started, I was saying I'd rather see Bucky pull the shield up. It makes more sense in the MCU. But by the time you get to the end of the show, it's like, no, it makes more sense for Sam. So
earned, man. It was well earned. So I'll ask the three of us. What show did you like better of the two?
This one, definitely.
John?
I resonate more with
Wanda.
Yeah.
You're a villain at heart as well.
No, it's not the villain thing. It's the depression and the pain.
I think I agree with you. I think that I clicked with WandaVision a little bit more, not a lot more, but I felt like WandaVision was a little bit more daring as far as just not in terms of subject matter, but in terms of methods of storytelling. I think WandaVision was incredibly ballsy TV. And I like the metaphysical stuff. That stuff intrigues me, but I love the social commentary. So they were both great shows. I think that if I had to pick one that I preferred, it's probably WandaVision by a nose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I love both shows, but
they're great.
But Captain America and Falcon, yeah, I'm in.
That's until Loki goes back in time and retcons both of them.
So Loki's going to be like evil Doctor Who, right? That's pretty much where we are with this.
That's what it looks like. Yes.
I'm down with that. I'm very down with that.
All right.
I'm
I think
totally down with that.
We've been talking long enough. It's time to take our first commercial break, and we'll be right back with our favorite subjects of the week.
What if John Wick worked the X-Files? Hi, I'm JD Oliva, writer and creator of Sundown, the latest entry in the Books of Jericho supernatural thriller series. Some truths should be left in the dark. Over the years, Ethan Jericho thought he'd seen and fought it all. Werewolves, Wendigos, and doomsday cults. But now he finds himself face to face with a 500-year-old vampire. Still reeling from his escape from the FBI and Snowblind, Jericho is called to investigate a mysterious death with no leads but millions of witnesses. An Instagram model murdered during her own live stream. Along with reporter Dana O'Brien, Jericho uncovers an even more horrific side to the model's murder, a demonic coven run by mysterious vampire lord, and the spotlight Dana and Jericho have shined has turned them into their next target. Last year I ran a successful Kickstarter campaign for my book Harvest Moon. Before that, I spent 16 years working as a videographer and video production professional, and I was just kind of writing on the side. The COVID-19 pandemic really kind of changed the face of the video production business, and at the time I was worried that I didn't know when work would come up again, so I really went all in on being an independent writer. And I gotta say, the success that we had with Harvest Moon on Kickstarter really influenced me to take this brand new book to Kickstarter immediately. I ran 3 successful Kickstarter campaigns for Harvest Moon and my comics Deluge and Red Sunrise. Horror is not a traditional big seller on the Amazon sphere. I've actually been told by people, don't write horror, horror is too hard to sell. I just don't believe in that. And I've seen what it can do in Kickstarter. I've seen the power of this platform when bringing slightly different projects to life. And I believe that Sundown is perfect fit for Kickstarter. Thank you for checking out this video, and I hope you'll jump on board and help us reach our funding goal. Please stay tuned to this campaign for further updates. Thank you again.
All right, we're back, boys and girls, and it is time for some social media amendments. And we're going to start. John owes an apology to all of our balding fans out there.
But why?
Apparently, you created quite a stir.
No, it's me, guys.
So the guys from
John, I'm everybody's friend.
the guys from Cult 45, when they retweeted us this week, which thank you guys for retweeting us, they said bald is beautiful, suck it, bro.
Ooh, that gets a Degeneration X gif in response. I missed this, so it's going to have to be.
And then
here we go.
Joey DiCarlo from So Wizard Podcast said, "Me when John is trashing bald people," and it's
That's Brittany.
That's Brittany.
That's Brittany, bitch. Sorry.
Beating up a car with her umbrella, it looks like.
Yeah, that was when she had her meltdown. Having watched the Hulu documentary about her, boy, what a sad turn of events.
Yeah.
And then of course we have we're in a group on Twitter with all the guys from the Geek World All Stars, and they're the bald men in the group disagree with you, John. And Tifobot from Fans of a Troll said no, she likes bald men. And of course, Bontego, who has been on our show before, is also bald, and he wasn't happy with you either, John. So,
John, this is the time where you double down on this, right? This is not the time to retreat. This is the time to firmly plant your flag in the anti-bald camp and be like, suck it, Chrome Domes.
Are you going to go buy a toupee now, John?
Don't hate.
Why do I need a toupee? I have more hair than all of those bald people.
There you go. There you go. Steering the skid.
Just don't look down so we can see the top of your head in the camera.
It's fine. Hey, all that matters is what's in the box. Everything outside the box is not real. That's the magic of YouTube. Nothing exists.
Framing, dude.
Yeah, nothing exists on the peripheral. It's just like the movies, man. It's just like the movies.
So we at Superhero Speak apologize to our bald fans on John's behalf. Bald can be beautiful.
If you're Michael Jordan.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah,
The
Patrick
Rock.
Stewart's a sexy man. The Rock is a sexy man.
He was Patrick Stewart was a sex symbol in the 90s.
Sean Connery was a sex symbol in the 90s, and he was bald.
Bruce Willis is bald. Everybody seems to like him now.
Bruce Willis is a dork. So no,
Mike Coulter.
Mike Coulter, bald.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bald is beautiful.
Oh, Mike Coulter bald.
As I put my hands through my long blonde hair.
To quote my wife, that's a beautiful man.
Yeah.
Yes. So John, what are you gonna? How are you gonna stick your foot in your mouth next?
I don't know. All I can tell you is I shall at one point or another make an attempt to quote unquote suck it.
All right. Moving on. Of course, we talked about the Shang Qi trailer last week.
How great does this look? I just can't get over how much.
I cannot wait.
This prompted not one but two comments from Timothy Jones.
From the great Tim Jones.
He said, "I do like the fact that they're including the 10 rings. Seeing as we saw the terrorist organization involved in capturing Tony Stark in the first Iron Man, it always bothered me, though, that the ring's symbol looked like an old rotary telephone."
Old man Jones telling the old man, talking about rotary phones. Calling the party line to get to Klondike 523. That's how they used to make calls in the 50s.
Hey, back in my Go ahead.
No, see, you had to ask for like the operator to connect you, and you like made up some goofy ass word and with a couple numbers attached, and I'm sure Tim could explain it better.
Pennsylvania 65.
Klondike 579.
Pennsylvania 65,000. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania 65,000.
Hey, back in my day, you had to write the note and then hand it to the telegraph operator. Okay, man. So.
Oh my God! I remember when I was real little. My parents would say our number was PI2 5015.
Oh wow, you guys are still doing that?
Yeah, and then like one day I'm like, wait, but it's 742. Like, why the hell are we saying PI? Like, it makes no sense.
That's like a World War II generation thing that died with.
Yeah. Back when operators were actually operators.
Yes.
Because I was a kid, I always wondered why the hell there were letters on the phone when we just gave numbers. And then when I got older and started looking at those phone sex lines, I started putting a little bit more together. And then of how one can use those numbers. 5th grade slumber party, phone bill went through the roof. Bad night. Fortunately, it wasn't at my house. Hey Brian, I know you're listening. I never quite understood that until I saw that, and I'm like, well, how are you supposed to know what? Again, this is like I'm 2 generations removed from that, so I was like, Pennsylvania, what would you connect that to? Like PNA? Like, I mean, like I don't get, like, that's such a hard way to dial a freaking phone. Like, it's like, how can we make this more difficult for people? Right?
Yeah,
it's so bizarre.
Tim also said, I have no idea who or what Shang Qi is.
He is, in fact, the master of Kung Fu.
It seems to be Iron Fist all over again, but without the 5-fingered glow stick.
I was going to say the 5-finger discount, but that I didn't have a joke to follow that up with.
No, not a clean one anyway.
No.
No.
Okay, so imagine Iron Fist, right? Like take Tim, I'm talking to you right now. Take Iron Fist, but like make him cool.
Yes.
And Asian. And not insulting, and no vegetable people running around.
None of the white privilege, and take all the whining away.
Yeah, all the whining gone. And like I said, if you read the comics, the people of Kung Lao are like vegetable people. There's like asparagus dudes walking around. Kung Lao is a weird place in the comics. So it's all the cool stuff about Iron Fist, minus the stuff that makes you, why is he fighting in ballet slippers? Like, there's lots of stuff with Iron Fist that never quite clicked. Like, Iron Fist is cool because he hung out with Luke Cage. No other reason. Whereas with Shang Qi, the master of Kung Fu, you get all that good stuff and none of the stupidity.
I apologize to my friend Nathan, who might be listening. He was a huge Iron Fist fan.
Sorry. John's going after the bald people. I'm going after the Iron Fist fans. Burn this sucker to the ground.
Speaking of bald people, so of course we talked about Alfred Molina had confirmed he is returning as Molina. Sorry, it's confirmed he's returning as Doc Ock in No Way Home, and Random Randy Savage from Colt 45 said, and I love this quote. That's why I included it. Multiverse giveth. Just be prepared for multiverse to taketh away.
To be fair, he's been gone since 2004, so we're kind of had multiverse, on layaway.
We've made our installments, yeah.
Yes, and now maybe we'll get to look at it for a while, and then we'll put them back.
Well, I mean,
we really can't afford them.
That is the issue with movies, because it's like you bring the villains out for a movie, and then you don't see them again, ever maybe, or maybe not for a long time. So yeah.
Yeah, well this is why comics and TV are better, is because you can reuse this stuff. Whereas you make a movie, Alfred Molina plays, Doc Ock that one time.
Yep. But maybe not going forward. We'll have to see.
We'll see.
Of course, we also talked about Indiana Jones 5.
Old Man Indy.
And we had a lot of comments on it this week. Of course, Random Randy Savage again says, "Does it have to be called Indiana Jones?" ? You guys remember when Split was its own thing until at the end of the movie?
The ass end, as he referred to it, which I appreciate.
I know the ass end of it. Okay. I know.
Yeah.
I know that the movie is going to be decent enough, but if you splooge on the mantle of Jones, what?
No, continue. We're splooging on it. We're splooging on Indiana Jones. I didn't foresee us going here.
Mantle of Jones on any movie, it's going to fail because of the expectation. So he's not expecting Harrison Ford to put the hat on.
I think that the key is don't expect anything from an 80-year-old Indiana Jones, and you can't possibly be let down.
Right.
If he doesn't break his hip, we should be excited.
Yeah.
This could easily be him sitting in a chair recanting a story, and they have someone else actually play young Indy.
They're not going to do that. What they could do is if you really want to push age technology, we could really push age technology on this one. Do some face swaps from like 1981 Harrison Ford onto some stunt guy.
Oh,
I don't want to see them do that. I'm saying you could do that. And if George Lucas were still in charge, we might be doing that.
Might be an all CGI.
Yes, with that specifically. I could see Lucas going, that's a good idea. As long as we're not actually splooging on Indiana Jones, we should be okay.
Jesus Christ.
Plus, the Flockhart might not appreciate that.
We are completely off the rails.
Rob Foster said, "It's like a Spielberg-Lucas franchise, creating stars who are forever only famous for the single role. I wish Spielberg-Lucas would have moved on to give us more great movies that didn't rely on franchise to turn a profit." Harrison Ford continued on. Harrison Ford is the exception. Aside from him, which other Spielberg-Lucas regular is famous in any other role outside of their connection? I mean, really? Well,
Billy D. Williams is famous for being Billy D. Williams.
But he was Billy D. Williams before.
Carrie Fisher is Carrie Fisher. Yes, she got to play Princess Leia, but she had a varied career. I mean, like, fame is such a weird thing. Is most actors only get famous for like one thing, right?
Yeah, yes. I mean, yeah. A lot of people will sit there and go, he's actually talking typecasting in my mind, because
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, he is.
A lot of people will sit there and go, oh my God, Luke Skywalker.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill is only Luke Skywalker. Well, no, he's the Joker on Batman the Animated Series.
But he will always be Luke Skywalker because you get famous.
He'll always be the trickster to me.
What? Wow. like you get famous doing one thing, and then everything you do after that, you're always going to be connected to that one thing.
Yeah.
Right. Harrison Ford is one of the guys like Harrison Ford and Tom Hanks, and they don't come along all the time. That's why they're called stars.
I think what worked for Harrison Ford, in all honesty, is that Indiana Jones came out while the Star Wars movies were popular as well.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's not like he was in two big franchises at the same time. He wasn't. So people didn't just look at him as the one role.
Right.
So.
And it's like I said, it's hard. It's hard to not be put into one spot as an actor. I mean, most actors don't get famous ever. And the ones that do get a modicum of fame, it's usually always going to be associated with a role. So, I mean,
unless you're Keanu Reeves, but
Keanu Reeves, but think about it. Wasn't Keanu Reeves essentially Ted until Bill, he was always
he was typecast as that character.
Yeah. Matrix is basically Jesus Ted and cyberpunk Jesus Ted. Right. When he was in Dracula, he was basically British Ted.
Yeah.
Like he didn't get to do anything really until the John Wick thing kind of revitalized him.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And he gets, just because you work a lot doesn't necessarily mean you aren't still associated with with your most famous role. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Shadow Walker said the script should be Indy's search for Fountain of Youth, which he finds and which he will find and drink from. Then original Indy leaves and a new guy takes over the role for good.
You had me till the new guy takes role over for good, because I don't want to see knockoff Indiana Jones. I do like the idea of old man Indiana Jones going after the Fountain of Youth. There is legs to that idea. I can get on board with it.
Megapodtastic said, "You said Indiana Jones. Of course I'm excited. I hope he loses an eye in this movie so we can learn how he got the eye patch." Yeah, because that's from the
Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. Yes.
Didn't they leave it though at the last Crystal Skull where Marion and he were back together?
Yeah, they got married, and they were going to leave it to the Shia LaBeouf puts on the hat, and then Harrison goes, "You're not worthy of this," and he was right.
Well, yeah, it was that wasn't part of the script. That was
that was Harrison Ford saying, "Give me that."
Poor little Shia LaBeouf. And then finally, Tim Jones says,
"Man, this dude really wanted his mention this week."
I've had a problem with Monkey Bum for a while now. Tim, I'm sorry. No.
Moving on.
What was it? Oh, yeah, this one, Black Adam. So, I again, Randy, I love this quote, and that's why I included it. We talked about the Black Adam movie, and Randy from Colt 45 said, "Oh, this is still a thing? I put it in the same bucket as The View, or as I'm sorry, not The View, as Vines or iPhones with the home button."
You can say that, but they're shooting the movie as we speak.
I know.
And it's going to make all the money next year.
But it just made me laugh because it's like, I felt that way for a while too. They kept talking about Black Adam,
I do
but
agree
they
with
weren't
that.
working on it.
It was in development for over a decade. So yeah, not wrong.
Yes. And then finally, on a total selfish note here for the podcast, of course, we always talk about, we do this and we do shout outs on Twitter for the people that we mention in Social Media Madness. It's to help build the community, and you guys are part of the show and we love you. Remember we talked about Kevin Glennon said that he agreed with us last week. This week he said, "You earned it, boys. Great call. Solid episodes too. I really liked the discussion on Isaiah Bradley. I think it's important to discuss comics, movies, stories, both for time in which they take place and the time in which they are published." So, I thought that I really like that. So that's why I included it. Thanks, Kevin. We agree. So there you go.
Want to be part of Social Media Madness? Make sure you're following superheroespeak.com, where you can find all of the social media links for the show at the top of the page. While you're there, check out previous episodes of the podcast as well as other great content. And check the site often because we are posting great comic book reviews as well as other comic book and movie content every day. Make sure you are following us on Twitter at Superhero Speak. And while you're there, check out the rest of the Geek World All-Stars Podcast Network. Simply follow them at *_geek. The Geek World All-Star Podcast Network include great programs such as the Pup Prism Power Podcast, Colt 45, So Wizard, Fans on Patrol, the Gorilla Brain Podcast, and of course, Superhero Speak. Search for GW All-Stars. You will not be disappointed. Now it's back to Dave and the boys on Superhero Speak.
So, all right, let's move on. In our final matchups for Nerd Madness this week, for the first round. I promise we'll knock all of them out next week for round 2, and then we'll just be into the semifinals. For anime, we had The Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime, which does not fit in a box for the poll, and Jujutsu Kaisen. Is that how you pronounce it, John?
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes. And Kaisen takes it at 58.8% to 41.2%.
Really surprised, given the last season of Reincarnated as a Slime just finished, and it was amazing. But Jujutsu Kaisen's got like the word of mouth thing going, like My Hero Academia did. So,
oh god, yeah. Well, My Hero Academia was also on, I think, Cartoon Network, and like commercials all the time for it. You know?
Yeah, and Demon Slayer too is kind of like that, but
yes.
Which we haven't mentioned, but the Demon Slayer movie right now is currently beating all other movies.
Yes. So then we moved on to comics. This round we had the Dark Knight Death Metal versus Zdarsky's Daredevil. And I am happy to say Daredevil takes it at 55.8 to 44.2%. And maybe we get Zdarsky on the show to talk about it at some point.
Sure.
So I think that would be good. All right. TV, guys. This time we had HBO's Lovecraft Country versus Stargirl on the CW. I am kind of shocked at the result here because I thought everyone loved Lovecraft Country. So, but no, I love Stargirl, so I mean, it works for me. Stargirl squeaks it out, 53.8%.
Philistines.
0.2%.
Philistines.
Come on, Stargirl is really good.
Whatever.
Oh, it's not horror. I know. Sorry.
It was
Jake.
good. Like, that was a good show. And like, this is, I don't know. I guess we are Superhero Speak, so I shouldn't be surprised.
Yes. and then this last poll I squeaked out this afternoon because I forgot to get it done. But this is how it would have, I think, panned out anyway. Our final matchup was our movie, and it was Tenet versus Pixar's Soul, and Soul takes it 60% to 40%
because nobody could understand Tenet.
No one could understand Tenet. That's what I hear. Like, you can't, like, the sound mixing is so bad in that you can't understand a thing that's going on in the movie.
Yeah, there's that too, but the plot is...
Yeah, I didn't understand what they were talking about in that movie, and I have a film degree. And I went, what the hell is going on here?
Pulling out your film degree, I see.
But the only thing it's worth is to talk about movies. That's the only value it has.
So I forgot to put in what the matchups for round 2 are going to be. So I'll go back and figure that all out. And look for those polls coming out this week, boys and girls, because it's heating up. I mean, I'm pretty sure not WandaVision. Mandalorian's going to take the whole thing. So that's my guess.
Nobody can stop the juggernaut, which is Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
So on that note, here's our good friend D Squared to tell you that you can follow us on social media and be part of social media madness.
I got one hair. I got one hair that I can't get out of my face.
You gotta get into a fight, JD. That's not the old thing. You got an itchy nose. You get into a fight. Oh my God, this makes for great podcasting. All right, boys and girls, thank you for that, Don. And don't forget to check out the Omega Level Nerds podcast, available on YouTube and wherever podcasts are available. And maybe JD needs a trim.
No, July.
On that note, boys and girls, we're going to take our next commercial break, and we'll be right back.
The United States military has finally developed the perfect weapon, and it's gone missing. Desperate, the government has reached out to assassin Ethan Jericho to take out the man responsible, Crawford Lockhart. 15 years ago, Jericho knew Lockhart by another name, Warlock. As Jericho's former mentor, they were an inseparable team, until Jericho ruined it all. Now he faces a heart-wrenching offer: kill Warlock, and the government will clear his record. But when Jericho confronts his old friend, he discovers Warlock's weapon is a 5-year-old girl blessed with an unholy ability. And worse, Jericho isn't the only one tracking them down. Now he finds himself in a race against a band of genetically engineered killers looking for a weapon of their own. Can Jericho keep the child safe before she falls into the wrong hands? It's X-Men meets The Purge in this latest entry into the Books of Jericho, the Book of Warlock.
All right, we're back.
The reason I say July is because growing my hair needs to reach a certain length for Locks of Love. So when July, it'll reach that length. So yes, I'm donating this hair.
Well, you're a good man, JD. You're better than me.
I know. I'm aware.
Well, maybe after I cosplay Thor, I will donate my hair as well.
Your hair is getting long, man. You should just let that stuff go.
Yeah.
You got some curls.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You know?
Well, according to our fans, though, he should shave it all off. So
No. See,
ooh, someone's bitter. I love it.
my hair is wavy, so like when it gets to this length, I can't do anything with it. But once it gets longer, it'll just lay flat. Yeah,
dude, look at this.
Put it back.
People say, "What's with the headbands, JD?" And I say, "I look ridiculous without them." So
your hair's
the hair
poofy.
stays in the headbands.
Your hair's like Shia LaBeouf.
It's like Shia LaBeouf. Yes.
All right. So Falcon Winter Soldier, or I'm sorry, Captain America Winter Soldier, after the show ended, there was an announcement that was made that we are going to get a Captain America 4 movie, and it's going to be written by the showrunners of Falcon Winter Soldier. So
awesome.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, are we excited to see a Sam Wilson-led Captain America movie?
I don't know if I'm excited because I just saw one. So I'm like, at the moment, I feel quenched on it. But I'm sure when they start announcing stuff about it, it's going to be good. I wonder what we're going to get.
It's an interesting concept for 2 reasons. One, we don't need an origin.
No.
Like, you just go in and he's Captain America because we got it in the show. But 2, the people who didn't watch the show, when they go see Captain America 4, they're going to be confused that Sam is now Captain America.
Then they should get on it and get Disney Plus. We don't steer to the casual fans around here. We play to the hardcores. The hardcores give you the money. The hardcores are where the heart is.
Yeah.
We're all about the hardcores.
It's where the wallet is. I get it.
It is where the wallet is. You know what the mouse answer that's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck them! That's what the mouse is going to say. Did I give you an edit point for this week?
Yeah, I think so.
Sweet.
Yeah, no. But with this news, of course, I mean, everyone's excited, right, John? You're excited. You're being quiet. Are you playing with a toy still?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm listening. And I was reading ahead on the topics, but
because you didn't prepare.
I did prepare for last week's.
I don't know if you guys have seen the rumors floating around about Captain America 4.
I have not seen any rumors.
I have not seen those either.
What are the rumors, Dave?
So if you remember a little while ago, we talked about Chris Evans had entered into a deal with Marvel to come back to the MCU in an undisclosed role. So there are rumors that this movie is going to be, it's going to have flashback scenes of Cap during World War II, and then it's going to contrast it with what's going on today with Sam. And it's also going to tie into the old man, the man out of time stuff that you were just talking about, which I don't think so. I really don't think that's what they're doing. But then, of course, it grows and says, and in one of those scenes, when Cap's in World War II, he's fighting alongside someone named Logan. So it's like, no, they're not bringing Wolverine into Captain America 4. Like, I just don't think that's how they're going to introduce him.
No, it's not. That's not the best place for it. Especially when we missed our Madripoor opening.
Exactly. Right. So, I mean, unless, oh God, that would be the character who connects the two. Right? Like,
oh, you know what? Hell with it. If they bring Wolverine in at some point, I'm happy.
Well, you don't know what's going to happen between now and then, right? Like, we have Multiverse of Madness. We've got Loki. We've got a whole bunch of shows where we've got time travel, dimension travel.
we have
it's like anything could happen by that time.
It's true.
Right. It's funny too, because we have Shang Qi, and like people are discounting it as just a karate movie, but it's like, no, they're showing he's got the power of the 10 rings in this. So
First of all, it's a kung fu movie.
Yeah.
That's it.
But did you see the Yetis and the monsters that were in the background of some of the shots that they showed in the teaser?
It's gonna be so cool. It's gonna be.
I know,
so
right?
Cool. It's been a long time since we've gotten a good big budget super mainstream kung fu movie.
Yeah.
Very excited.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think personally, like, because again, I don't even think it's written yet. To be honest,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they just greenlit it, like, because of the response to the show. Because the people had said this show sucks, they never would have done it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
Who's saying any of their shows suck at them?
No, that's what I'm saying. But you gotta wait, you know.
Right. I mean, there might be an idea for the story, but I don't think anything's written yet. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm just excited. Another Cap movie. Sign me up. I'm there. So, yeah. Do you think now? Do you continue this story from the show? Or do you
kind of have to a little bit, like, because this is kind of our springboard. I assume. See, okay. You want to know what I would do? This is what I would do.
Okay.
The Thunderbolts.
That's so by the way, that is a rumored cutscene from Falcon Winter Soldier. Or they changed it in editing or something like that. There was gonna be like another, like, remember they showed the raft at the end, and Zemo looks up because he sees that they killed off the other super soldiers, and that's like Zemo's thing. He smirks because that's like his thing. There was a rumor that there was gonna be like another couple of super villains in there, and then Ross was gonna come in and say something about, like, you guys are going to be part of the Thunderbolts or something.
That's just straight up Suicide Squad. So
I know,
right?
right?
That's not accurate, but I mean, because the Thunderbolts are really cool, and I hope that they're able to do. I wouldn't mind seeing Captain America versus the Thunderbolts, or just give me the Thunderbolts TV show, because I think there's a lot of ground you can cover with that. That's what I'd like to see, mainly because I'm out of, unless we're bringing Red Skull back to life again. I don't know what else you do.
Well, you don't have to bring him back to life. He's still alive.
That's true. But I think Hugo Weaving won. You guys know that it wasn't Hugo Weaving that played him.
Another guy who was amazing at mimicking him.
Yeah, he was. I actually got to work with that guy in an indie film about 10 years ago, and he had everybody in stitches with his impressions. And I heard it was him, and I was like, okay, I made sense. The dude from The Walking Dead, Ross Marquardt.
Again, it's heavy makeup, so you could, as long as the person's got the same kind of profile and can do the voice, it doesn't matter who's on.
Anyone can be the Red Skull.
Yes. Just like
this can be good. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Just like anyone can be John O'Grady. Just
no.
There's only one.
No, you got it wrong.
Wants to be me.
You got it. No, you got it wrong. John O'Grady can be anyone if he's in my hands.
that
Vampire O'Grady.
That sounds wrong. All right. Moving on. Of course, we've heard Russell Crowe is going to be in Thor: Love and Thunder. Apparently, he let slip who he was playing on social media. But I believe that the post has since been taken down.
I thought someone verified it from Marvel. I thought it was verified.
Yeah, I believe I saw it was verified as well. Yeah. But apparently he was told to take the pic down.
Russell Crowe don't care about no NDAs.
Exactly.
Russell freaking Crowe, for crying out loud.
So Crowe doesn't care.
He's playing Zeus.
That's interesting.
MCU's version of Zeus. Yeah, number one, no offense to Russell Crowe, but I thought he was a little old.
Well, he's playing Zeus. I mean, Zeus being an immortal god, no?
Yeah, but the Zeus from the MCU is young.
It depends on if you're going to give us Hercules. Because then don't you want Hercules' dad looking a little bit older than Hercules? Because that seems that is the interpretation I got from it, is that we're going to get a Hercules.
That's what they're doing. Oh, I didn't even think of that. And then Christian Bale is playing
the God Butcher.
The God Butcher. So
it's not hard to see the parallel where this is going.
Exactly. So does I guess Christian Bale kills Russell Crowe in the movie? That's my
guess. Butchers him, in fact.
Oh, butchers him. Yes. Sorry. Cuts him off for hamburger.
Side of ribs, Australian ribs.
So yeah, this will be interesting. It's also interesting that they're going to use Zeus after DC used Zeus in the Wonder Woman movie.
To be fair, it's Zeus.
I know.
You know, he's fairly he's public domain. You know,
very much so.
Has it been that long since somebody created him?
Not even Disney can copyright Zeus. No, they're trying now.
They'll try. Oh yeah.
I think that's where we are right now. Disney's like, let's see if we can get the lawyers on this one.
They can copyright their version.
Trademark Zeus. Well, actually, they did have a trademark Zeus from the Hercules movie.
Yeah, but their version.
Yes, their own version. Yes. Yeah. Marvel's. Yes. I'm excited. He's good. He was having rewatched Man of Steel. He was a good Jor-El.
You think?
I liked him as Jor-El. I don't know why he was flying a giant bat thing.
Yeah.
But everybody else had like space vehicles. Like, I think the idea was interesting, but didn't actually make sense in application. Yeah, but I thought his performance was good.
I guess that's my issue, is that their execution of Krypton was just horrible, in my opinion.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say it wasn't. Like, I mean, there's a lot of things I don't like, but I thought him as an actor, him literally reading Grant Morrison's words, I loved, you know, but I mean, I can't control him for what Snyder did with everything else.
Right.
No, we can't. Poor Snyder. I mean,
nobody.
No, never say Snyder. Never say poor Snyder. That man won as far as this whole thing goes.
Oh my God, he did. He got one over on all of us.
He did.
All right. And then the last bit of news. This really isn't news because it's rumor. It hasn't been confirmed one or the other. But since we talked about one rumor, let's talk about another.
Sure.
So of course, we all loved the Netflix TV shows, the Marvel Netflix TV shows, right?
Yeah.
All of them.
All 4 of them.
75% of them.
Mm-hmm. No, all 4 of them. There was the Punisher and
Oh
Was
yes.
it-
Well, there was
Yeah.
there was 3 seasons of Daredevil, 2 seasons of Punisher, 2 seasons of Luke Cage, 2 seasons of it was the other show, Jessica Jones,
Yep.
and then the Defenders was all right, and that was it.
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
That was it.
There were 2 seasons of Iron Fist.
No, there. What show?
What
that?
You're saying words, but I don't understand what they mean.
And he left off with his golden gun. See, and this is why this lends fuel to the rumor. So the rumor is they're bringing back the actors to bring those characters into the MCU. There's heavy rumors that Charlie Cox is in No Way Home as Matt Murdock, at least, and Jessica Jones will be returning. Kristen Ritter.
Kristen Ritter.
And of course,
The vivacious Mike Coulter as Luke Cage.
Hold on.
He's becoming popular again.
Barenthal will be returning as Punisher.
He was great. I really liked him.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Apparently, Finn Jones and Mike Coulter will not be returning to reprise their roles.
Boo! It's just a rumor, but
yeah, it's just a rumor. I and it's funny because you can kind of see like why they might not bring Finn Jones back, but I thought everyone liked Mike Coulter.
I wonder if he's got something up with his contract with because he's got that TV show on CBS right now, so he just might not have the time.
Yeah. Plus, they left his character in a really weird place.
They really did. Like, there's a weird cliffhanger where like Luke Cage is now kind of the bad guy, and
he's kind of Black Kingpin at this point.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I can't wait to see what they do with this. Oh, nothing.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I kind of thought it was gonna be an old like, switcheroo. Like it looks like he's gonna be the bad guy, but he's not. He's changing things from the inside.
We'll never know.
No, because of course the other part of the rumor, I don't think it addresses it in the article I sent, is that they were going to bring the actors in, but kind of tweak their origin stories, so they don't exactly line up with the Netflix.
That's the only way you could have fixed Finn.
So with the Multiverse of Madness, we have some opportunity. With the Blip, we have some opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was originally ready to laugh this off until I saw the source. Source is CBR. That's a pretty valid source. So there might be smoke to this fire.
Yeah. No, there is definite possibility, but I don't know. Mike Coulter's a beautiful man, right, JD?
Beautiful man. Ask my wife.
We wish
except that he's bald. So
she okay. I go bald. She's got if I go bald, she's got issues. Mike Coulter's bald. He's a beautiful man. I mean, I can't argue with her logic on this. So I accept the role with which I am presented. But it's just unfair.
Yeah. Or what's his name? Oh God, why can't I think of his name now?
That guy.
Moonlighting.
Yeah, that guy.
Moonlighting. Bruce Willis?
Bruce Willis, yeah.
We talked about Bruce Willis earlier on the show.
Yep.
John mentioned him.
Yeah, another beautiful bald man.
I thought Bruce Willis looked better balding. He's one of the few guys who pulled off balding. But now that he's balda, he's not as sexy as he used to be.
Yeah, but
it's also been 35 years, so
exactly. All right. Well, that's all the news.
Die Hard was a great movie.
That's what I was trying to say. Die Hard.
Red was a good movie.
Red was a good movie. Red was a good.
Red was such an awesome movie.
Did you read the comic? Is so different in tone from the movie. Like it's one of the few times that like I'm okay with an adaptation swinging so far in the other direction because they hit a home run with it.
And it's a DC property that was a decent movie.
I know these are few and far between.
It is. Well, that is all the news I had for this week. It's a light news week, but we're going to take our last commercial break and be right back with our main topic.
Mortal Kombat!
All right.
So, moving on to Invincible.
We're back, boys and girls. and we all sat down and watched the new Warner Brothers movie, Mortal Kombat, based on the long-running Midway video game.
I watched half of Mortal Kombat before the child spit on the dog and all hell broke loose. And then I did not finish Mortal Kombat.
Oh, great.
It's fine. Spoil away. I know what it is. It's Mortal Kombat. Did you guys like it? Because I'll be honest with you. I thought the half of it I saw did not inspire me to watch the other half.
All right. So let's all right. So I was gonna say, let's real quick, non-spoilers. We'll go around. So John, JD's not impressed. John, your impressions?
It was rushed. It was cut to hell, and the writing. I mean, the first Mortal Kombat movie is
good.
fun. It's fun to watch, and
campy.
At least, yeah, it's campy, but the storyline is continuous and it flows. This one,
Magical Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
But the second one is total garbage.
Yes.
Yeah, the second one's total garbage. But this one was a try to make it more real, not realistic, but realistic, but more edgy,
rounded,
and rounded. And that's okay. I'm fine with that, but it didn't quite get there, and in not getting there, it made itself worse than the first try.
Yeah, I'm with you. And again, I just thought it was silly. Like, it was silly without being fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's why, because the first one was fun. This one wasn't fun.
I was kind of meh after I watched it. Like it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. But it wasn't like I wasn't like, oh, I want to go play Mortal Kombat right now after I watched it, which you think that should inspire you to do that or something.
You know what it kind of made me think of? Bloodshot.
Yeah.
Like, I felt very much like Bloodshot. Like, I felt like they're checking boxes, but I'm not connecting with anything. And then, like, when the chaos broke out at my house, and let me tell you, it was chaos. It was like I wasn't feeling like the whole leading up to it was just kind of like, I don't know, man.
So we're gonna get into spoilers now, boys and girls. So if you haven't seen the movie, you can bail out now and come back later. If you don't care about spoilers, then here we go. Yeah, so let's start with Cole, who's the main character of the movie. Like, he's not a character from the video game at all. Okay, no. Let's start with the opening scene. The opening scene of Mortal Kombat I thought was awesome, personally. Like, I thought that was really well done. It was who ends up being Scorpion and Sub-Zero meeting and fighting, right?
Right. And that's like one of the main storylines that they could have followed.
Right.
So.
Spoiler alert, Sub-Zero kills Scorpion.
I think everybody knows that. It's like,
yeah, well, they actually released the opening scene on YouTube before the movie came out. And then his body disappears. And then we come to but that's obviously in like feudal Japan, like years ago, right? And then we come to modern day, and we get introduced to this character, Cole, who is not a character from the game. And my understanding is he was created as an everyman to be an entry point into it. But yet, I don't know, like,
why do we need an everyman why do we need an everyman in a movie about a mystical martial arts tournament that's supposed to involve the greatest martial artists from across dimensions? Why do I need an everyman?
With soul sucking, vampires and
ice and dudes with ice powers and
Goro with forearms.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it was such an odd choice. Like, the first movie makes Liu Kang kind of that entry level character, and we can kind of associate with him because, one, they're basically ripping off Bruce Lee. Two, like, he's recognized, like, he's from the game.
So
right.
I've heard. I don't remember where I heard this. I heard this on another podcast, behind the scenes stuff. That was an edict from Warner Brothers.
Oh,
if you're going to
Warner
make
Media.
this, yeah, you're
There's
going to
a
make
surprise.
this movie. You can't have. You got to have like, you have a character like an. You have to have that kind of character, and it can't be one of the game characters. And the argument I heard was that the thought process is, well, if you make, let's say, Liu Kang the main character, well, people who don't like Liu Kang aren't going to like the movie. If you make Sub-Zero the main character, well, people who don't like Sub-Zero aren't going to like the movie. And I'm like, that's stupid.
It's Mortal Kombat.
Do these executives, do they actually play a freaking video game when they were kids? I wonder if these guys had childhood at all.
No,
Like,
no,
stupid, man.
They have no imagination or soul. So, of course not.
Or Souls, yeah.
Man,
I agree with that.
This is so disappointing. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
See, I was right. We should have moved right on to Invincible.
So
Behind on Invincible. So,
oh well, then wait until you see this past episode.
all right.
It's more and better fight scenes for the entire episode
Okay.
than this Mortal Kombat movie. I hate to say it.
All right. So let's try this. Was there anything in the movie that you liked?
special effects look good.
They were really good.
Yeah.
There were some practical effects in there too. I
Yeah,
think.
there were. Yeah, and there's some good kung fu or some good fighting sequence. Like that stuff was fine. Like I just,
Yeah,
I like the fighting was really well choreographed.
it was well choreographed. Yeah.
if you're gonna level up Mortal Kombat, right? Like give me a story that works. This was boring, quite frankly. And again, like how much? It's like when you're adapting a property, why are you creating a character that's not part of the property? Like this is like used to drive me nuts when I was a kid, right? And they would do like Captain N, the Game Master, right? They had all these video game characters, and they create this guy to lynch it all together. You're like, I don't know who this freaking dude is. Why do I give a crap about him?
Yep.
Right.
I felt that at 10, and at 40, I feel the same way. Like I'm invested in Mortal Kombat. Give me Mortal Kombat.
They didn't even do like Outland. Like Outland was just another place.
Yeah, I know. Man.
It wasn't
Oh,
this. It wasn't this scary.
You only went there.
demon
They only went there like you saw like the throne room and the land once, and that was it. Like nothing happened there.
Yeah.
So
they didn't even have real Mortal Kombat. They didn't have the tournament. This was all before the tournament.
Like, I think the most disappointing thing is, and spoiler for JD, you get to the end of the movie and like you never have the tournament. This is all set up for a sequel, basically, and it was just like, really?
So do you know why Mortal Kombat worked, aside from it being the first video game to like really invest, like really go heavy into the gore, which again, like I was a ripe old age of 12 when that came out. So I was like the target demographic. Do you know why that worked? Is they took the framework from the greatest martial arts movie of all time, Enter the Dragon, right? What was Enter the Dragon about? Bruce Lee's character gets invited to participate in this big tournament. Right, and then it gives you this excuse to have all these fights, and you have John Saxon and I can't remember the other guy who was in the movie, Jim Kelly. You have both those guys, and they have their own characters, and they have their own like unique look about it, and that's all Mortal Kombat was. Is they lifted that idea and made it look cool with like some magic stuff, right? It's the same movie.
Yeah.
It's the same exact principle, and they threw the gore in to make it look different than Street Fighter. Right, because it had worse graphics than Street Fighter, but because Sub-Zero was ripping dudes' spines out, we were all like, "Oh, this is clearly the better. This is clearly the better game. I can decapitate a human being in this game. Like all I can do is bite someone in the other game."
It was using like motion capture sprites, right? The thing was that they were using pictures of people and moving those around.
Super early in that process, revolutionary for the time. Right. But again, the level of violence is what really made it stand out. But again, like all you have to do is steal liberally from Enter the Dragon. That's it. That's all I want. Give me magic Enter the Dragon. That's it. And I thought that's what we were going to get this time. But no, we got some dude named Cole.
Yeah.
Cole. That's it.
He's a wet blanket.
So here's the other thing that I guess we liked the fighting and the special effects. That was it. Things we didn't like, they give us Cole. They based a lot of the movie around him, building up this story. He's a reluctant hero. but he's the only one that was born with the birthmark, and on all this, they build up the story. We get to the final fight with Sub-Zero. It's not Cole who defeats him.
Yeah.
They bring Scorpion back from hell. He comes in and defeats him. It's like, well, what was the point? What did we need Cole for? If we could just bring Scorpion back from hell, why the hell did we need Cole to begin with?
Why isn't Shang Tsung the villain? You know what I'm saying? There's like, why do they stray so far from the mythos, from the lore, if you will? Like, it's all there. Like, it's all there. I don't know, man. Like I said, I only got through half of it and I didn't like it, so
yeah,
it's poopy.
I really have nothing more to say about it than
I kind of
it's like
I kind of agree with John.
That's the problem, right? There's nothing more to talk about. It's like,
yeah, I mean, it was stringing together, you know, things that quote unquote looked cool from the video game, you know, fatalities, and I also you know, there is the hokiness of like someone going fight and then someone saying fatality. Oh, flawless victory. What's his
Kano.
Kano says at one point.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but why would you say that? You know,
and it's not as tongue in cheek as it is in the original Mortal Kombat movie, where it's like, where they're like,
yeah, right.
The whole time they're winking at you the whole time.
Oh no,
but that was okay.
No, he says flawless.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He puts his hat on, and goes flawless victory. Like, that's tongue in cheek. I'm sorry.
No, it is, but it's not as. The reason that doesn't work as well, because the whole movie doesn't have that tone.
It does, yes.
Right?
It doesn't match the tone.
It's a tonal shift. So it just comes off like, what are you doing? Like, in the original, you have Christopher Lambert playing, you have, again, strange that he comes back in this. Christopher Lambert playing he's a Frenchman playing an Asian electricity god for reasons. And like, at that point, you're like, okay, all logic is out the window. Right. And it's like they're steering into the silly. You got the dance soundtrack and like it's cool. You get the vibe of this. So they were having fun with this movie. This was them taking themselves. This is like the Jeff Johns version of Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
And it could have been good if the studio hadn't interfered and they had a real writer, you know.
I don't blame the writer because he's taking orders, right? And so many, you're in those big studio things, there's so many writers involved, like a script it's a hodgepodge script. So it's like they weren't looking for that, but they didn't, like oftentimes with Warner, they don't know what they're working with. Like they don't really understand their properties.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is so true. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't really have much more to say either. It's just, yeah.
I'm only going to give it 2 ripped out spinal cords.
Well, okay. How about you, John?
I'm going to give it a 3 Stooges eye poke. That's about all it's worth.
Yeah. That's a good one, John. I like that. I tip my headband to you.
Yeah. I don't know. See, you give them the scores that low, you kind of think it's a horrible movie. I think, like I said, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good. So I will give it 4 herpes-filled suitcases.
Oh my God.
A herpes-filled suitcase? Wow.
What is that even, and why would you do that?
No, I love that. I love that visual it evokes in my mind. I'm going to write that down.
That sounds... What do you got, wrestlers in the suitcase? I don't understand.
When I had MRSA, I think I might have told you guys before, I pulled the little pus pocket out and I had this inch wide pocket of pus that was all like, I remember holding this up like, this is nothing but pure infection. Like I could mess somebody up if I like put this in their food or something.
Oh my God.
But I flushed down the toilet. But I mean, like, that makes me think of that. That made me think of that. Like when you said the suitcase is full of herpes. I don't even know what that means, but I like it.
Wait. It'd be better if there's space herpes.
You forget
space herpes. See, we could write for Warner.
No, wait. You don't know what space herpes is?
No, it's space herpes.
You've never seen Ice Pirates?
I don't know what Ice Pirates is.
Okay, you got to see Ice Pirates, dude.
I'm totally unfamiliar with this movie.
That might be the next movie we're reviewing.
Do not.
I'm intrigued. I have no idea what Ice Pirates is.
It's
I'm
one
disappointed that I've gotten this far and I don't know.
It's one of the top 50 movies that every geek has to have.
Never heard of it.
You have to have seen it.
I'm sure you can find it streaming somewhere. It's
All
a
right,
pretty old
I'm
movie.
down.
Yeah.
I like old movies.
Oh my god.
I've never heard of it.
Space herpes. Oh my god.
Well,
All right,
yeah. And okay, add that to your list. Just go ahead, go forth, my son, and seek thy
And did you
enlightenment.
forget Herpes Luggage is the name of the episode, remember? So that's why I said Herpes Suitcase. So yeah, that's right.
I said you carry it around like luggage, but I like the extra step that you made on it and actually made the luggage full of herpes.
Oh, of course.
Which is so evocative. It's like you open it up and it's just like a big old pile of nasty like blood sores and skin. That's gross. This
Yeah,
episode.
I don't know. All right,
Guys, I think we're done.
So, long story short, boys and girls, you don't need to see this movie. All right.
Suitcases.
Let's wrap it up. Any recommendations for our audience this week, JD?
I'm gonna plug the Kickstarter one more time. I got a couple pledges while we were on the show. The Books of Jericho Volume 5, Sundown. And now the next stretch goal we hit was Volume 6, the Book of Warlock, comes out with it. So you're not just getting one new book, you're getting 2 new books, but you can also get all the books available. Plus, we've announced 2 exclusive short stories. Hint, 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 there will be a third. So there's lots and lots of stuff that come with this thing. I just want you guys to read some cool books that I'm really proud of.
Yeah.
I'm in a better place. Thank you guys for talking to me. I was all super stressed out before this show. I feel much happier talking about suitcases full of pus and whatnot.
You are a complicated man.
Sean.
No one understands me but my woman. That's Shaft.
Yes.
I might not know space pirates or ice pirates, but I know Shaft.
You know Shaft.
I know Shaft.
All right, our resident Shaft, John.
Well, yeah. Well, that's my recommendation. If you are a geek, you have to have seen Ice Pirates. It is stupid and horrible and fun and hysterical, and it's just one of those things like Monty Python that you have to have.
And watching it might give you space herpes.
Yeah, well,
I think that'll balance out my regular herpes, so I think I'll be okay.
Be like one of those Mr. Burns things where there's so many diseases trying to get through the door at the same time that you become immortal.
Three Stooges syndrome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will recommend that you go to superheroespeak.com. You can find the podcast every week. Links to our social media at the top of the page, and comic reviews by our good friend D Square. But what I really am going to recommend, we had George O'Connor on the show. He talked about his book Charlie's Spot. Mine came in the mail today, so I highly recommend. So George reached out to me. He told me that they do have extras available for retail, and they will be available on his website, which is homelesscomics.square.site. There will be a link in the description of the episode to check it out. He said they will be up by Wednesday when this show comes out, available for sale. So
I haven't gotten mine yet. Can I have mine?
Charlie's Spot is one of the best slice of life comics that I've read in a long time. Like I guys like me or like Rich Duick like do these big bombastic, crazy ideas, and George like really kind of boils things down, keeps it simple, and just tells like a good natured story. And I really appreciate his work. And I don't say this because he's a dear friend of mine, but he's really talented, and I really enjoy his work. I really like this book. I think he nailed something special with it.
Definitely. So there you go, boys and girls. On that note, as always, thanks for hanging out. And don't let your cape get caught in the door. Mortal Kombat! Oh, sorry.